I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Oops, the podcast. I am Giulio. I am joined by Francis. Francis, how are you?
Yeah, buddy, I'm all right. Good to see you, pal.
Good to see you too, man.
Hell yeah. I got a lot to tell you.
I love it. Dude, I'm seeing myself in the camera right now. I don't know why I just chose to look like a fucking Easter egg today,
Sure do.
but I really do.
It's a good look, though.
Yeah.
You look good in those nice, delicious looking colors.
Dude, this reminds me that people really sleep on out of season candy. Like, you can get that Easter candy in like mid-April for 70% off. It's the same shit. It's just like pastel colored the candy that you would normally buy for $1 for a giant bag of it.
That's it. It's almost like you feel as though the candy has passed its expiration date, but what you don't realize is that most candy doesn't expire for about 7 to 14 years. Stuff is not going
that
bad.
true?
Dude, a bag of Skittles,
It's gotta
what's
be
in
true.
there that is all of a sudden, don't eat those.
No, yeah,
They've
you're right.
gone bad. Oh, speaking of bad, my girlfriend has been away now for 5 days.
Mhm.
It was fine for a day or two. And I talk a lot about how I look forward to it very occasionally when she goes away because I get to sleep in the middle of the bed and
House to yourself.
yeah, just watch movies or shows that I can't watch when she's here because she doesn't like them. Or
Yeah.
I watched that Bob Odenkirk movie.
Oh, yeah, how was it?
Nobody.
It's good.
It was spectacular.
That's sick.
Spectacular. If you like action, fighting, violence movies, oh my God.
Really?
I give it a 10 out of 10.
I gotta check
It
out.
was
What's
so
it called again?
fun. It's called Nobody.
Nobody.
I would watch it again. It's like John Wick, but more grounded.
Oh, cool.
It's so fun.
Yeah, that sounds like exactly what I would want out of that. Like John Wick, I have found, like I had wished it was a more grounded.
It's a little too
over the
there's
top.
a lot of secret society kind of
Comic
pledging.
booky.
Yeah, you got to get this password, members of the Knights of Order, whatever it is. Whereas this is just a dude in suburbia living a boring life with an interesting past
Right.
who gets tangled up in the wrong people
That's
and has
cool.
to sort of revive these skills.
That's cool.
A little more like Liam Neeson taken
Right,
kind of
right.
situation. But it's Bob Odenkirk, he's Odenkirk, whatever, he's the best.
Dude, you bring up a good point, and not to interrupt, but this is like what you just said, basically. Like, I never anticipated what you just said, and it's been one of the things that I just like, didn't realize would happen when you live with your girlfriend. And that's that. It's hard to watch shit that she doesn't want to watch.
Yeah.
You like don't have enough space. And like, I've been dying to watch Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, man.
Just because I have a new sick TV and like, I want to watch a crazy action movie,
Yeah.
even though I'm not interested in the movie. And I haven't found an opportunity because she doesn't want to watch that.
That's it. And not for
And it
nothing.
sucks.
I recognize that it goes both ways. My girlfriend was dying to watch Bridgerton, and I had no interest in watching that.
Right.
And I know that that's a good show. People have been raving about it. So she had to kind of find time to watch that
Right.
herself.
Right.
So, we both have, there's a nice thing when your significant other goes away where you can kind of catch up on a couple of the things that are just not things that you share together, right?
Right.
Now, having said that, by day 2 or 3, this apartment was falling apart at the seams. Dude, I'm telling you, I had planned to go to Whole Foods and stock up on groceries like we do at the beginning of every week. I didn't get around to it.
Do you go on Sunday usually?
I think Monday or Tuesday,
Got it.
typically. By Thursday, I was eating heavily expired products from the refrigerator. Things that, really should not have been eaten, but I was looking and saying, well, it's okay, 2 or 3 days past the expiration date for this bag of turkey. I don't see any green.
Oh God.
I have a relatively steely constitution. I feel that I
slumming
should
it.
be fine.
Yeah.
And there was nothing else to eat, and I didn't want to order shit delivered all the
Jesus, God.
time. So that's kind of how it's been,
You hate to see it.
yeah. And we have a delineation of chores. We do. And I will say that when she's here, I'm doing my chores, I feel like, boy, this is so harmonious. We're each pulling our weight. It's a
Totally.
nice 50-50 partnership. When she leaves, I am left to do her chores, and you realize it is not equal at all.
Like she does way more than you.
Yeah, and her chores are just so much more important.
Like what are they?
Dude, the laundry.
Oh, I do the laundry.
I want to do the laundry. I don't ask her to do that. The problem is that her laundry is so much more complicated than mine is.
So let me ask you this, dude, because my girlfriend doesn't generate anywhere near as much laundry as I do. Is that not the case with you?
Probably the case.
And what do you mean it's complicated? Like you
So
need to
so for
divide-
her, you know, she doesn't put her pajamas in the dryer.
Oh,
And
okay.
I did her laundry for her once, all of it. We did a mixed load, her things and my things. And I just assumed anything that was cotton.
could go in the
You know, I
dryer.
know you don't put jeans in the dryer. I know you don't put dress shirts.
Mhm.
I know you don't put maybe certain shirts that you don't want to shrink, definitely not sweaters. But I figured, okay, cotton pajamas that are pretty well worn, that's going to be fine. And then when she pulled the stuff out of the dryer, she was like, "Oh no. You put those in there?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh,
She's like,
boy.
"Why don't you just let me do the laundry going forward?" And that was the end
Oh,
of
wow.
that. So
They just came out looking like children's pajamas.
I don't even think I shrank them. I think that I don't know. I think she just doesn't put those in there for some reason.
right, right.
And so I failed my way out of
Got
that
it,
chore.
got it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, this isn't even worth the risk of having you
Yeah.
continuing to fuck this up. I'll just do it.
I didn't assign it to her. I didn't say, you do that better than me. She didn't let me do it anymore.
That's funny, dude.
And so anyway,
What run us through the chore breakdown. Who does what? So she does the laundry.
she does the laundry.
Who clears the dishwasher?
I put the dishwasher away, and I definitely take the lead on doing dishes.
You're
for
the dish.
dinner.
You're the dish guy.
I'm a big dish guy.
You're just a big dish guy.
and I like it. I find it therapeutic.
Okay, who brings out the boxes?
I do that.
I do that too.
And I take out the
enjoy
trash.
that. I enjoy the
I do
boxes.
too, because it lets you get away for a second and you can drag your feet. And what should be a 1 minute chore can take up 5. Yeah.
All right, what else is there?
Well, for us, the dog care is
Yes.
a big thing. And the dog is 8 years old and his teeth started falling out and he
Mhm.
needed at least a few left for these last few years of his life to eat his dinners and stuff.
Dude, that's so fucking dark.
He had to have his teeth removed by
You
the
can't give him
vet.
doggy dentures?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Doggy veneers?
Is that a thing?
Deniers? I don't know. I'm making this
Well,
up.
the point is he's got a few teeth left, and so we have to brush them now.
This is breaking my fucking heart.
And
bro.
so
Poor guy.
Sierra brushes the dog's teeth every morning.
Does
and
he
he-
hate it?
Hates it.
You
But
should
she-
be like, bro, do you want to eat?
Yeah.
Doesn't that suck that you can't tell a dog?
can't
Dude,
tell it.
do you want to eat?
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus.
So she has a technique, and she sort of walked me through the technique, but he is doing everything he can to prevent you from brushing his teeth. And so she goes away, and now I'm left to brush his teeth, and I'm doing it, and I'm just like, God damn it, just stop squirming. Let me get this over with. If you just stay still, it'll take 10 seconds. And he's ripping his head around. He's unhappy that I'm pulling his gums up. So all of these things are harder,
Mhm.
because I'm doing them and I don't have the experience.
Right.
So I just feel like a substitute teacher. I'm like, can we just put a movie on until she gets back? You know what I mean? What are we doing here? We know we're not going to learn anything, right?
Right.
Let's just survive. Let's just hold on. That's kind of my thought,
Dude, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we need to get her back soon, man.
Yeah, we need her back.
She's just going to come back. You're just going to be sitting in the corner.
Yeah.
The heat's going to be off. You're going to be in the
Nothing.
dark, just like
Malnourished.
naked, hugging your knees. You're looking like Gollum.
Me and the dog,
My
I'm
precious.
gnawing on the dog's leg. I'm like, I had to eat him.
You ate the
We
dog.
ran
That's like
out
the
of
movie The Platform.
We ran out of the fridge food.
Dude, that's fucking great. Dude, so I have a funny predicament. This is so random. So I've been having issues with my big toe.
Big toe.
Yeah. So my toe, this is kind of nasty, but my toenail like fell off at
It
one
happens.
point.
I've heard
After it was
about
like really
this.
painful. It was really painful, whatever. And it grew back all fucked up.
Oh.
So I might have to have a procedure.
Okay.
Now, as we've discussed, I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast, but I'm going to Uzbekistan.
Yep.
And so I bumped into my podiatrist on the train today,
No way.
and she was like, "How's the toe?" I'm like, "It's all right. Like, it's feeling a little better, but I'm going to Uzbekistan, and like, I'd like to." I was like, "Should I just do the procedure when I get back?" And she's like, "Honestly, I've been to some of those countries, and like, if something were to get bad with your toe, like, you wouldn't want to have to get it done over there."
Oh, heavens.
Which kind of goes against our prevailing theory on this podcast, but I'm willing to believe her.
Yes. And Giulio, it also kind of goes against, I think, her Hippocratic oath that she's having a medical conversation with you on the subway.
Why is that wrong? I'm a patient.
But with what? Eavesdroppers leaning
Who
in?
gives a shit? Where on their oath does it say, "I shall not give medical advice in front of others"?
Let's say that she was your urologist. Isn't there some kind of patient-doctor confidentiality?
Yes, but dude, if I'm on the train, I'm like, my pekka's killing me.
If you were on the
That's
train, you
different.
and your urologist was on there, and he said, "How's your testicle doing?"
That would never happen on the train.
Well, there you go. It happened about your foot, and feet are personal to
That-
people.
Come on,
If
bro.
someone
I
started
watched you rip
talking
your
to
sock
me,
off in the middle of an episode.
yeah, well, you and I are very close friends. You're within my circle of foot trust. If I'm on the subway, I'm not ripping my sock apart and asking people for their opinion on my nail beds.
If you're ripping your sock apart, it means you're about to start asking for money. So we
Yeah.
have $1. So, dude, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. We'll see how the toe feels after the weekend.
Good luck, buddy.
I
That doesn't
appreciate it.
sound that fun.
Dude, I've been having bad luck with medical stuff. How I had to go to the dentist a bunch?
Yep.
They fucked up one of my cavities. So I went back to the dentist and they tried to fix it, and they're like, "We might not be able to fix it.
Oh,
We might
shit.
have to take it out and just put another one in."
Oh, heavens.
Dude,
a whole new cavity?
Yeah. How
Ugh.
fucking terrible is that, dude?
What would it take for you to file suit against a doctor or a dentist for medical malpractice?
That's not can you even file suit against that? Like, they're going to fix it. There's no suit to file. Like, I think you file suit when they like fuck your life up. Like, your life is worse because of the care that you received. Specifically because of the care,
You're probably right.
right? Like, I would never, first of all, even if I had a case, I wouldn't fucking sue the dentist over that.
Mhm.
I'm a reasonable person. They didn't mean to fuck my tooth up. They just happened to fuck my tooth up.
Right.
So I'm going to go and get it fixed. No big deal,
Okay.
I guess. In
So
theory.
it would probably be gross negligence that made life worse for you. So something
Correct.
that where they didn't say to you like, "Hey, going in, just so you know, there's a 50-50 chance that this procedure goes wrong." They were like, "Yo,
You're
don't
good.
even
It's
sweat it.
easy. Yeah.
Easiest thing ever. We're just
Yeah.
going to go in there, be done in 10 minutes."
Right.
And then when
I
you woke
grow a
up from the
third testicle.
anesthesia, they were like, "Listen, don't freak out.
You no longer have a penis.
We're going to show you what your arm looks like now."
Oh God, dude.
And you have this just stump.
Oh God.
There was a girl in my high school who I think she had scoliosis, and she went in for what they said was a pretty routine back surgery, and they paralyzed her.
Oh my God. Dude, I think,
She was in a wheelchair for the rest of her life.
you gotta avoid the surgery if you can.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's one where you
You
have
had
to
to get
sue.
it,
You
yeah.
have to sue.
Oh, right. That one you have to.
Yeah.
And they're protected for it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. They
Part of the
have
game.
all the insurance and all that.
dude, you know what happened to me this morning? Something that you've talked about. I woke up in a fight with my girlfriend.
Oh,
I woke up and I look over her and I go to hug her and she pushed me off. And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "I had a really bad dream." And I was like, "Well, did I do something bad?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I tried to hug her again. She's like, "Seriously, I need a little time."
Goodness me.
And then she told me what I had done in the dream. And she's like, "It was so real." And I kept being like, "But it wasn't. It's fake. You literally imagined it." She's like, "But it was so real." She was like, "You were doing that thing you do." I'm like, "You're not allowed to do this.
No,
This is not fair." Like, were you
that's your
serious?
subconscious and your sort of neuroses.
Yeah.
Putting on a play in your brain.
I'm like, "What the fuck?" So then I went and made her coffee, which I haven't done yet in the new apartment. She typically makes the coffee. And I was literally trying to get myself out of the doghouse. I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Sucks.
But she was coming to give me a hug when I arrived with a cup of coffee.
Got it.
She had gotten over it. It would end up being a nice moment.
You hope that when your girlfriend wakes up from a dream where you have cheated on her with her dad or something, that, you know, she will be relieved to see you next to her and reminding her that none of it
that's
was real.
fake. Dude, 100. Do you want to know what I did?
What?
I sold nudes of her.
Ooh, that is dark.
And they got all over the internet apparently, and like
You're a pirate.
And also, I didn't sell them for that much. Like I sold them for like a modest amount.
Someone was like, "I'll give you 20." You're like, "Dude, just give me 15."
Yeah, 100 for like the non-complete nudes, and like 700 for the nudes.
Wait a minute, that's not a lot in your mind?
I mean, for me to like sell my girlfriend out, because she said it was really realistic. So in a realistic scenario, you'd expect me to at least get $1 million if I'm doing that. If I'm going behind my girlfriend's back.
I love that a part of her gripe was that you didn't value her commodity nudes highly enough.
She was like, "That's it?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I was like defending myself and like gaslighting her apparently. I'm like, I didn't do any of this.
No.
Let us remember.
Damn.
Well, we move past it quickly.
That's good, man.
Well, Francis, you have exciting news.
I do.
Why don't you let us know what's going on here?
Yes. After a year and a half of working at Bro Bible, I have decided to strike out on my own. I am becoming the master of my fate.
Love it.
I am taking the reins of my career, and I have the hope that this will work because of how amazingly supportive and wonderful you all are. And I'm going to be starting my own Patreon account. The subscription model that so many creators are flocking to. It's an awesome website. I'm going to have my Patreon page, which will feature my alternate side parking Thursday videos, if you like those. I'm going to have blogs, which will come right to your inbox if you like my writing or have ever liked my writing. It's a strength of mine, something I'm very proud of. And then songs, the very types of songs that people have come to know me for on Instagram. Sunday Game of Thrones Day, any of my rants about the days of the week, young people going out and partying, whatever it may be. Lots of great content. Plus, it'll be a very interactive community. So if you email me, I will respond. Anybody who's paying for this, subscription, I promise to be very accessible. If you've ever DM'd me and I didn't get back to you, it's not because I'm an asshole. It's because I get too many DMs and that interface is too clunky for me to be able to respond easily. So come to my Patreon page. Francis Ellis at patreon.com/Francis Ellis. Lowest tier is $5 a month. You'll get all the alternate side parking Thursday videos. I think one blog a week. And it would mean the world to me if you would support me. We are not putting Oops the Podcast behind the Patreon. That is still free. And this is just me. And I appreciate you, G, letting me pitch the hell out of it on the pod. Baby. But if you like my work and you like what I do and you like us, please throw me a subscription because you guys are now my employers. I'm relying on you to make my way here, and I hope we can grow it. And I thank you so much.
Support our guy.
I've been dealing with a little bit of a scandal myself.
Oh yeah?
Can I tell you about it?
Sure.
Okay. So I moved out of my old apartment at the end of December of 2020, end of the year.
Okay.
I had 1 month security deposit that they were holding on to. Apparently, according to tenant landlord law, the landlord is required to walk you through your apartment after you vacate, and if there are any things that they think might require repair that you are on the hook for, they have to point those out. And then you're supposed to be allowed to try to fix them yourself out of your own pocket. And I guess if none of that works, then they ding you from the security deposit, right? Now,
sounds fair.
None of that happened with us.
Great.
We just moved out. Basically, we're told, yep, looks good, blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
Now,
I see where this is going.
It's been 4.5 months since we moved out, right? And I had emailed asking about getting my security deposit back, and I didn't hear anything. I emailed the assistant that I had often brought my rent checks to, didn't hear back from him. I didn't even know if these people were alive anymore. Like, I genuinely thought maybe the assistant had quit and moved away. His email had been rendered inactive, whatever it is.
Jesus.
All these things. And so finally I hit up the building manager who was part of the ownership team of this building.
Mm.
And I said, hey, dude, I've been trying to reach out and get a sense of the security deposit on this. Can you help me? Like, nobody's responding. And he goes, yeah, sure, no problem. Shoot me an email and I'll take care of it. And I was like, oh, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could really use that money right now. It's thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, wow, that was easy. I should have just done that first. So I hit him up and I was like, hey, it's me, just checking in on the security deposit. Thanks. Then a couple days later, he hits me back and he hadn't done the walkthrough with me when we moved out, but he had taken pictures of a couple scratches on the floor and also a stain on the floor that had been created in the first week that I was dating my girlfriend when she knocked over an entire decanter of red wine, which landed on my rug. And I was absolutely lost for words because we had just started hanging out. I liked her so much, but I was like, this is a dramatic amount of damage.
She just commits a massive technical foul.
This is a dramatic thing that rug is so important to me. I had loved it. And it was something that I had bought, when I became an adult, like my first rug that I bought. And, anyway, she did her best to treat it and to put powder on it and soak it all up and did a pretty darn good job. But unbeknownst to us, the red wine had seeped through the rug and created what looked like a massive blood stain in the hardwood floor beneath, which we never saw until we moved out and ripped up and like pulled the rug up, right? Because we never lifted the rug up. So the manager took picture of that stain as well as the scratch. And then he also took a picture of this light fixture that I had changed because the light fixtures that they had appointed the apartment with were so dim that I had gone to Home Depot one day and picked out a track lighting. I then unscrewed the regular light fixture, put that in the closet, and then put this new one up, and then never replaced it back when we moved out.
Right.
But not a big deal, right?
Shouldn't be, especially because you made it nicer.
Exactly. But also like they can just swap it back in.
Totally.
So he points all these things out in this picture, and I was like, yeah, I get it. I get that there's some damage here. Like, just let me know what it costs to repair it, and we can take that out of security deposit. No problem. That was back right after we moved. That was like 2 weeks after we moved out. So it wasn't the walkthrough, but it was just pictures.
Yeah.
Fast forward back to last week. I said, hey, I'm really trying to track down this security deposit. So then he emails me and he goes, okay, the floor repair cost half of what the security deposit was. And I'm talking exactly half.
Yeah.
So just magically
exactly
half the number of the security deposit. By the way, the security deposit is not like a round number. It's not like $4,000. I'm not going to say what it is, but like it would be ludicrous that exactly half the security deposit was what the floor repairman billed them to fix these scratches in the stain. And then he said that the other half was going to go to the light.
Oh, what?
Or like, oh no.
With the stain?
No, he well basically he just gave me these things that said like
the full security deposit.
Not only is the whole security deposit gone, but you owe me for another half of it. Because we had moved out.
Security deposit plus 50%?
I owed another $3,600.
What?
Now the reason for that was he said because I had vacated 2 weeks prior to the end of our rent. And I know this is all technical shit, but I promise this is going somewhere. And we didn't pay for those last 2 weeks. And the reason was we had told them like they had given us notice saying that they're not renewing our lease.
Mm-hmm.
So move out. And we were like, well, holy shit, we don't have much time. We scrambled to find an apartment. We did. And I said, listen, we don't we can't time it up perfectly for us to move into our new apartment the day our lease ends.
Right.
So we're leaving 2 weeks early. That's what we're doing. I hope that in good faith you will honor and like let us out of the last 2 weeks of our lease. And he was like, no problem. Of course. We appreciate you so much for being flexible. And so I reminded him of that, him saying that, right? In my first reply email when he was like, you owe me for those last 2 weeks. I was like, well, you had said this. I'm going to hold you to your word. And he said, I remember saying that. No problem. I will honor it. But I still need the money for the floor repair. And I said, okay, can you send me a itemized breakdown from the floor repair company of how this amount came to be? No, he goes,
Smart.
no problem. He sends me the invoice from the flooring company, which has their phone number and their company name, as well as the breakdown for all the floor repairs for all the units in the building. And every single unit had a very similar number to the one I was billed, which made me think that all of the units were basically given the same treatments and that there was not some heightened exorbitant cost specific to the damage that I had done.
Yes.
But I then
Kind of like a flat rate for fixing the floor.
And by the way, the number on that invoice said $1,800, right? And he had quoted me $36 for the damage I had done. So I wrote back and I was like, well, this says $1,800. Why would I pay $36? And then he wrote back, that was just a proposal. It ended up coming out to $3,600.
So why are you sending the proposal and not the receipt, dude?
So then I called the flooring company.
Oh, baby.
This is the reason I wanted to tell this story. And I said, hi, is this, the guy's name was Gabe. And I go, is this Gabe? And he goes, yeah. And I go, hi, this is Francis. I used to live in, and I gave the address. And I go, just for my records, I know you guys did some work on the floors in there. We're just figuring it out. Any chance that you could send me an invoice for the work that was done specific to Unit 1, the apartment I lived in? He goes, no problem.
Oh my God.
Dude, he shoots me an email.
Oh my God.
$1,800.
Wow.
Exactly the number that
Motherfucker.
was on the proposal, which means the building manager was trying to fleece me for $1,800 on top of that.
Plus, so $1,800, but what about the other stuff?
Well, he backed off of that.
So, okay. So you were going to get some of your security deposit back.
Not, who knows?
Who knows?
He keeps like, I don't even know what his strategy is at this point. But that was when I had finally, like, there it was, mathematically caught him in a fraud.
Fucking you. Yeah.
And I forwarded him the email in writing with the receipt from the flooring company saying the work we did on that unit was $1,800.
Let me ask you, did you say it like, hey, I think there must have been a mistake, or were you like, you're a fucker?
So keep in mind, I am going back and forth with the counsel of a real estate broker who knows these laws, and he's advising me as to how to phrase these emails.
Oh, well, that's crazy.
And he says,
how did you find this? This is your broker who got you this apartment?
I'm not going to say his name because I don't want him to be connected.
Right. But it's a friend, or it's a guy you've worked with, or
a guy I've worked with before.
Okay.
Who I trust. Who has a very good finger on the legal side of tenant law. So he was, making sure I left a paper trail. So everything I'm writing, I'm like, I may have to furnish this in court if we go that far.
Jesus.
So I forwarded him the email from the flooring company, and I said, I reached out to the floor company to do my due diligence. This is what they sent back. I expect to be paid my security deposit back less this $1,800 amount. That seems totally fair to me. Here's my PayPal, or you can send a check to this address. And I figured that would be the end of it, right? Because anyone who's been caught committing a lie and a fraud should know that the goose is cooked.
Totally.
The game is up.
Game's up, pal.
Boy, did I underestimate this fucking guy.
Wow.
Dude,
These New York City
he comes back to me and he goes, you didn't account for the lamp fixture being changed. You ignored that. Like, what is that? Completely ignoring that I had just caught him trying to take $1,800 from me.
Yeah.
And so I then sent him like another email being like, I think this is where the lamp is, blah, blah, blah. And now I haven't heard from him.
Dude, Jesus, this is terrible.
I don't know where to go next.
This sucks.
I'm not sure where to go next.
I mean,
I don't want to go to court.
yeah, it's like not worth it. Small claims.
It
court.
is worth it.
For $1,800. I mean,
No,
like,
no.
oh,
It's
for more.
7,200 less 1,800, 5,400.
Okay.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money.
$5,400.
It's a lot
What
of
does it? What does a lawyer take
I don't know.
of a settlement in a small claims court?
I have no idea. I don't know how it works.
10%,
I'm not sure.
$500.
I don't know.
Are they billing hourly?
I have no idea. That's crazy though, bro.
This has been sitting over me. I was so proud of myself for having
What a
reached
terrible
out
situation.
to the flooring company and having gotten that information. And I thought I had cracked the code. I thought I'd cracked the case.
And he's just being, dude, yeah, it's crazy. That, like, the ability to be completely caught and still act like you're not caught.
I feel like I'm at
It's
this
crazy.
point now where, you know, he would rather move to a different country than pay me that amount of money. That's who I feel like I'm dealing
It's
with.
getting there, bro.
Yeah. So
That's
I'll keep you
fucking-
guys updated on that. Boy, it would be a huge win if we got some of that money back.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
What a fucking insane. Jesus.
Yeah.
Francis, I'm looking over there and it looks like you're wearing some pretty comfortable pants, pal.
Hey, you know, these are some cool new pantaloons that I picked up from our old friends at Bird Dogs.
Bird diggity dogs.
Bird Dogs.
Well, dude, the summer months are coming, and I was thinking about your Soho House story and how if you had been wearing a pair of Bird Dog shorts, those would have actually been the perfect shorts to be wearing because they appear to be a normal short.
Mm-hmm.
You could then jump into the pool,
Mm-hmm.
swim, and go back and live your life. You're just completely amphibious in a
That's
pair of Bird
right.
Dogs.
Very amphibious, and I can only imagine how much longer I would have been able to hold my breath wearing a pair of Bird Dogs. People would have liked me more. So that you're right. That is the call. And right now, if you go to birddogs.com and use promo code OOPS, you will get a pair of rubber clogs for free with your first order. That's birddogs.com, promo code OOPS. Check them out now.
All right, I got one for you. This is not as interesting at all, but like, have you ever encountered a person that you thought was just on, like, obviously, like a person you just thought was on drugs?
Yeah.
But not like somebody on the street where it's like obvious, like in a situation where you're like in a store and buying something
Okay.
and it seems like the person on drugs. I went to get frozen yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Delish.
Pressed Juicery.
Yeah, good.
They have some kind of frozen yogurt substitute vegan bullshit. So, so anyway, so I'm in there and you know, the strawberry is the best flavor.
Is it?
And I go, do you guys have strawberry today? And she's like, no, it's just vanilla or chocolate. And I go, okay, I'll have vanilla then. And she goes, okay. And then she kind of starts getting it ready. And then she goes, I'm sorry. She goes, did you say chocolate? And I go, no, I said vanilla. And she goes, okay, so chocolate. And I go, like, are you fucking with me? I literally said that. I'm like, what the fuck? And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I'm having a bad day. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, yeah, sure. I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever. Dude, it was so weird, man. It was the weirdest fucking thing. So I'm like, all right. Like, she's like, what toppings do you want? And I'm like, strawberries and like the cacao drizzle.
Uh-huh.
She goes, dude, I swear to God. She goes, okay. She grabs a spoon and starts scooping granola. And I go, I said strawberries, not granola. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. I'm just having a bad day. Dude, it's crazy. So then she puts the strawberries on it and just puts the lid on. And I go, were you able to put the cacao drizzle on? And she just goes, oh, I'm sorry. Dude, I couldn't believe it. She had to take the lid off and put it on. And I like, dude, it was the craziest thing I've ever encountered ordering something, dude.
Oh my God.
Like,
That is funny.
Like, and she was young, bro. She must have like thought it was cool to get really baked before work or something. Like,
Is that what that was?
dude, what else could it be? It was the craziest thing ever. Or
If she's citing having a really bad day, right? People are going to want, we want to empathize with
Totally.
people and let them off the hook. But I've had lots of bad days where my entire motor function didn't just break down.
Dude, yeah, like,
My cognitive ability, my ability to process commands.
dude, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was so insane. I was like, what the fuck? And it's totally random, not a big deal, but it just stood out, like stuck out as the most bizarre
That is so funny.
ordering experience that I've ever had.
That is really good, man. That reminds me of that Nate Bargatze story, the milk with ice,
What is
which
that one
it's like
again?
his signature bit from a couple specials ago, and where he like went to Starbucks and asked for like an iced coffee, and they just handed him a glass with ice with milk in it, like a milk with ice cup, and he was like, "What person would order this?"
Dude, that happened to me in Kansas. I went to and I talked about this on Pack Light, I think if you guys have listened to it, but there's a moment where I went to a Starbucks in a giant grocery store and I ordered a iced coffee, and I got soy milk. And they poured it, and dude, I'm not kidding you, the soy milk just settled on the bottom of the cup and looked like 3 or 4 giant cubes of soy milk.
Ugh,
It was disgusting. And
that's not good.
I said to her, I was trying not to be a dick, but I was like, there's something wrong with this milk. Like, and she goes, no, you ordered soy. And I'm like, yeah, but this isn't what soy looks like. And she goes, I gotta be honest, no one's ever ordered that before. And I was like, that makes sense. It's probably like rotten or like
Yeah.
needed to be shaken or something.
Sediment. Yeah, lots of sediment.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I'm sorry to hear
Yeah, we got a couple emails. This one is called Relationship After the Honeymoon Phase.
Okay.
And I think this is a good topic for you and I to go into because I
Sure.
think that our relationships are officially out of the honeymoon
We're not
phase.
honeymooners.
We're not in the honeymoon phase.
No way,
anymore. So I
Jose.
like to think that we can speak well on this. So here we go. Greetings, Giulio and Francis. I've been in a relationship for a few months now, and I am slowly realizing that certain things in the relationship are changing.
Mhm.
We are having sex less often than before, and overall the physical affection has decreased. I suppose this is often called the post-honeymoon era. We are in our mid-20s and both have been working from home the entirety of our relationship. What's your advice on spicing things up again and making it an exciting relationship for both of us?
Okay. So, first of all, Aziz Ansari wrote Modern Romance, and it breaks down this stuff brilliantly from a almost like a social science way. It's so much more researched and data driven than I expected it to be. Anyone who hasn't read Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari, I would strongly recommend reading that book. When the honeymoon phase ends and starts to taper off, a lot of people mistake that winding down as a loss of interest or
Right. You're not
this
banging
isn't
every day
exciting anymore. We should break up, or like I'm
Right.
bored. And that isn't necessarily what it should be, right? You should accept or hope that what was originally driven by lust and, staring into each other's eyes and whispering and,
Romance
cuddling all
and-
through the night.
Right. You're constantly discovering new things. Everything's new and fun
Just
and
being
whatever.
obsessed with each other.
Yeah.
Should be replaced by comfort and support and trust and the joy of, knowing that you can ask her or him about a very difficult career decision or say that this happened at work and hope that they know you well enough to advise you about it.
Mhm.
It's like living with a fucking therapist. It's for free, and not having to worry about wearing makeup all the time or, farting in front of each other. All these things that all of a sudden you just feel comfortable around somebody, and that it's very hard to like quantify the value of that. But
Yeah.
when you lose it, you realize, damn, that was nice. I
Yeah.
said this to Ashley Hesseltine once. I was like, it's very hard to describe how nice it is to come home from a long day of like being out and have the apartment be a warm place.
Yeah.
Whether there's like food on the stove or the lights are on or, someone comes to just greet you. and there's music playing, or there are candles lit, like all of that, the warmth of being with another person, as opposed to having to come into the home where you turn on the lights yourself. It's cold, it's empty, it's silent, and you kind of rev it up yourself. All of that is totally invaluable. How to spice things up?
Yeah.
The question, right?
So I think
What do you got?
there's a couple of ways to spice things up. But one, first of all, there's sort of like active, direct ways to do it, and then there's indirect ways to do it. One way to do it, go away for a couple of days.
Totally. That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's an indirect way to do it. Go have a boys' weekend. You'll come back, you'll fucking bang the shit out of your girlfriend.
That's
I promise
it.
you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And there's also this famous poem about, what's it called? The Prophet by Khalil Gibran.
Yeah.
Famous poem. And there's one part about it where he talks about relationships, and it says how like he compares relationships to a building structure. And it's like the columns, to support the building, the columns need to have space between them. And if the columns do not have that space between them, the building will collapse. It's important to kind of create that space in a relationship, because in the honeymoon phase, you're kind of like codependent in this way, because the romance is the only thing you're thinking about. You know what I mean? It's important to like stay true to what you have to do and do what you have to do. And you can do that alongside your relationship. And if you do that, it gives your relationship space to like breathe, and it'll feel more fresh also. That's like an interesting thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think, when people say, how do we spice things up again, right? It's because they fear the loss of the electricity of their sex life.
Yeah.
And I think spice, there's always like, try blindfolding each other, or like eat sushi off each other's lower backs, whatever the fuck it is.
Try anal.
Like, yeah, I'm tired of that. Like,
but that's not, I don't necessarily think that's wrong. That's
No.
like, you're on to something with that, but it's not the true theme of it, the discussion.
correct. Just because your sex life is not explosive 3 times a day, crazy anymore, doesn't mean that your relationship is falling apart. You can spice things up by becoming friends with her friends, like getting to know her friend group, or trying a new restaurant together, like experiences together.
Yes. And going out of your way to do special things for her or him. You know what I mean? He comes home one day, she comes home one day. You try to do something romantic. It sounds corny, but it's not. Like wine, or maybe draw a bath for your girlfriend, give her a massage. I'm just saying from things like from my POV, like how I would attack something like this. So I can't necessarily speak for how a woman would do it, although I'm sure that there are similar parallels. You know what I mean?
Completely.
I'm just giving examples that I would think of. But I think that like doing something special for them really kind of brings that spark back too.
It does.
Getting fucked up together. Go do drugs. Go have drinks.
Yeah,
Go
do ayahuasca.
do whatever. Like just go have fun. Like do the things that make it fun.
Yeah.
Basically.
And then the last thing I would say, if it is a sexual thing and you feel like the spark isn't there, one thing that I was told once was go to the bedroom, get naked, and just lie down naked near each other for a while.
That's interesting.
Don't necessarily just try to immediately start hooking up and have sex. Just be naked near each other and see what happens after a while.
They'll get the juices flowing,
Yeah,
maybe.
it's kind of like a snake when you drop a mouse into its tank. I used to have a snake, a ball python. Yeah, and it was nocturnal, and I would feed it in the middle of the day.
That's crazy.
And we would get these little mice from the pet store, the feeder mice, and I would drop it, and the snake would be sleeping in the corner, and it didn't immediately jump on the mouse. It would kind of very slowly, sleepily wake up, and the mouse would get comfortable and say, "Oh, this is my new home.
Oh, this is better than I thought
Look
it would
at
be."
that. That's an interesting structure over there, that coil rope. Is that a toy for me?" And the snake would sort of unwind, and then you thought, okay, here we go. And next thing you know, wham!
Would he do it like that?
Oh, yeah. Strike. And then it was a
Jesus.
constrictor, so it would wrap its coils around the
my
neck and then
God.
suffocate
That
the
poor little
mouse to death. And then slowly digest it, very slowly. And I would watch this I mean, my face was up against the glass. I was so excited by it. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
You ever watch Nature?
Dude, there's a
in
new
its-
nature show out,
Uh-huh.
apparently. There's a new David Attenborough show that just dropped.
Is that guy 400 years old?
He's hanging on
Was
for
he
dear life.
ever gonna die?
Bro, I'll tell you what, I'm going to get baked out of my mind
Yeah.
and watch that.
At some point, we should do a nature documentary about David Attenborough. Just follow him around with a camera.
Yeah, I think there is one. I'm pretty
There's
sure
just
that
a doc about him.
I think they just made one, like
Wow.
recently.
Cool.
94. He looks great. Sir
Still
David
getting
Attenborough.
paid more than me.
Cheers, pal.
Yeah, doing more work. His agent's like, "Hey, David, I got a call today."
They say it keeps you young working,
I guess
man.
that's it. Yeah.
You know?
Well, voiceover work is, you don't even have to stand up for it. So
That's true.
he can get
But I
there.
think did he used to actually go?
He might have been, in the field. I think you're right. I think a lot of the time
Maybe not
he was
anymore, I
out
imagine.
there among the butterflies and seals. So that's cool. Yeah.
Guys, thank you. Oops, the podcast. We love you all. Send us your thoughts, your emails, whatever you want to let us know. We love hearing from you and happy to lend our thoughts to anything you got to say. So oopsthepodcast@gmail.com, at Oops the Podcast. I am at Not Julio. He's at Francis CC Ellis.
Mhm.
Check us out.
Hell yeah.